Hello and Merry Christmas. Helen Amery here, signing off for the Christmas period. But I wanted to first of all share a video, and this video is of course going to be on my YouTube, but it's also going to my newsletter list. And I wanted to say a big thank you to all of you, those of you who are subscribing on my YouTube, and I've had lots of new subscribers recently, so thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining. And thank you to everybody on my newsletter list. Some of you have been with me for so many years. Some of you have joined new. Welcome to you guys who are new. And thank you so much to everybody, whether you're YouTube or newsletter, who's been around in my world for such a long time and followed me through so much of my journey, so many twists and turns and different ways and approaches of helping us have a nicer human experience. It's been such a big year, 2024, for me. Having started with the Enlightenment Summit in January, which had been prepared for at the back end of 23, we came into the new year with such a bang, with over 300 people signed up for that summit. And it was incredible. It was such a delight to spend that time, 3 intensive days of the summit interviews being released, being in conversation with the people who'd come to join and listen to the conversations, having the experts there in that conversation, in that community space. It was fabulous and it was really challenging. It was challenging for so many reasons, partly for the numbers of people involved, some technological challenges, and then the challenge of it moving into the Enlightenment event, which was the program that started in February, and compared to what I'd imagined it would be in terms of the through flow from the summit to the event, the numbers were nothing like I expected. And I had a huge, massive moment, like I cannot describe how awful it felt, as the numbers that came through for the event were tiny compared to the numbers who'd been in the summit. And the bottom fell out of my world. I felt like a complete disaster. I felt like a complete failure. I absolutely cried my eyes out on the coaching call where I was telling my coach about this, like ridiculous, real evidence that it was a very much a core childhood experience that was surfacing, because my reaction was way out of alignment with the situation. The degree of crying, the desperate feeling of it, the distraught feeling of it, tears and tears and tears, and just absolutely horrendous experience. But the event was starting in February. We did have people, thank you so much to everybody who joined the Enlightenment event. We did have people who saw the value in it. We did have people who saw the potential in it, even though this was a brand new thing that had never been done before, as far as I know, by anybody on the planet. There were people who had the vision and the foresight and the knowing in them that this was going to be a valuable program. And my God, it was a valuable program. It was an incredible 9-month journey with these same 12 experts who'd spoken at the summit, but now in the event deeply diving into each of their modalities, bringing a very real and practical workshop to everybody who was there as part of the main Enlightenment event, helping people deepen and deepen and deepen into their experience, helping them to love themselves in their experience more and more and more, helping them become unafraid of their experience so that they wouldn't react in the same way when these feelings came up, having got close to them. So they wouldn't react in the same way to the thoughts, having questioned them and seen them as untrue, and indeed seen their nature for what it was. Getting deeper into the body, getting deeper again into their spiritual nature, and seeing the play out of all of this movement of energy, the whole thing playing out exactly as it needs to, with the yin and the yang, with the power and the calm, with the fire and the light, all of it perfectly dancing together. So such an incredible program, which the consistent theme of it was people talking about it feeling so loving, so connected, so holding, so much divine feminine energy in that program, which really unlocked things for the members who really engaged with it and really genuinely connected with the sessions. There were significant shifts and significant changes for those people. And then alongside that program from the March, I discovered the Mace Energy Method. So very soon, in fact, into that journey, I'd already discovered a whole new way of handling and in fact cleaning our system of all the negativity that has us feel bad, all the negativity that has us feel low, all the negativity that has us feel reactive, all the negativity indeed that has us feel afraid of our very own experience, all of what keeps us in these repeating patterns. And I found this Mace Energy Method as a way to fundamentally clean these things out of our system. Because at that point, having had my failure experience as we shifted from January into February, I was already on the lookout for something that would get a lot deeper in my system, that would clean out this stuff that nothing else was getting to. And so there was such perfection that, thanks to somebody in Heartfelt Presence where I was volunteering at the time, thanks to them saying about the Mace Energy Method, I was able to go, oh, this is it. It's not just a thought. It's not just a bad feeling. It's not just an idea. There is a whole identity that's keeping me trapped in these repeating patterns and this cycling again and again and again and this frustration again and nothing changing. Thank goodness the Mace Energy Method came into my world. So that by 11th of April, I think was my very first session, having checked it out, having got time with a practitioner, I went for my first session on the 11th of April, so we were only at this point into our third month of the Enlightenment event, which meant that alongside running that program, which was all about inclusion, all about accepting and including all of our experience exactly as it is, at the same time, I was cleaning out my system of all the negativity that I was so tired of. I was so done with it. I was so ready to be free of it. I'd done a lot of the including work prior to that. It wasn't necessary, I now realise, but I'd already done a bunch of including work, and I was so ready to be free of this stuff that kept dragging me down. So that when I then began my training straight after those foundation sessions, it meant that I was moving through that training, May, June, July, August, September, all while the Enlightenment event was still going on, all while helping the new people find the Enlightenment event, all while supporting the people through that program, helping the practitioners be, the experts be where they needed to be at the time they needed to be, so that we had all these incredible workshops happening. And then come mid-September, I was signed off as a practitioner. I launched myself as a Mace Energy Method practitioner into the Wild Food community. And we then had another month and a half of the Enlightenment event, which just felt like such perfection. So that while I was launching with Mace in the community, the Enlightenment event was coming to its end. So one ending and one beginning, perfectly aligned in timing. So the end of October, when the Enlightenment event concluded, which was the most beautiful conclusion to a program I have ever experienced. Oh my goodness, so much love, so much gratitude in that final call. And I still feel that love and gratitude for all the people who came live, for all the people who were able to watch on the recording, for all the experts who were part of that program throughout that 9 months and more, given we started in the October 23 with the recordings. A huge investment of time and energy and attention and love. So it was an incredible closing call for the end of the Enlightenment event program. And so now that that program was going off into its new life, which it currently is as a self-paced learning program, you engage with it in your own pace, at your own time, engaging with the stuff that matters to you. That is available. And I was then launching my Mace Energy Method into the wider world, sharing with you guys here in YouTube and on the newsletter, and thoroughly enjoying it, because it was like I'd found everything I wanted from a modality. Something that gives you a direct experience of your true nature. Something that cleans out the negativity that stops you feeling the truth of those good feelings of your true nature, and something that is so effective, so efficient, so simple, and so clean, because it doesn't involve all the human stories. I'd seen again and again and again how those stories weren't helping me. They weren't helping my clients. They were just, people were cycling round and round and round, the same, the same, the same. And so I was so, so thankful to have found the Mace Energy Method, to bring all of these aspects together that had mattered to me throughout my journey to varying degrees at different times. All these elements coming together so perfectly, which therefore makes sense as to why things are going so well. Because not only am I cleaned out of all the negativity that was inadvertently pushing clients away, pushing money away, pushing opportunities away, clean of all of that, I then was in alignment with who I am naturally as a person. But it also then meant I was then qualified in a modality which totally aligns with me as a person and in what I want to do and the difference I want to make in the world, which is absolutely about getting people free of the negativity that drags you down, that bugs you, that keeps you in repeating cycles of, oh my God, this again, and I've tried this and I've tried this and it's not working. Mace solves it, and it's been incredible. I have never had so many testimonials go on my website in such a short space of time, and I am so thankful to the clients who have taken the time to share those reviews and testimonials so that others can hear those stories and check it with their own experience. Does this sound like something that I want? So some numbers that I pulled together ready for celebrating this end of year moment that I'd like to share with you. So to begin with, the 9 months of the Enlightenment event, such a significant 9 months, such a significant part of the year, and which I am so grateful to everybody who was a part of that as an individual, as a practitioner, as an expert, and to Katie McDonald as my virtual assistant, who was a phenomenal support in the whole process from summit creation through to the end of the Enlightenment event. As I say, that's available now as a self-paced program. If this is piquing your interest and you want to have some divine feminine inclusion energy in your world, I highly, highly recommend you do that. From a Mace perspective, I'd like to celebrate the 3 internship clients. So whenever I launch something new, the Wildford community are the people who get it first. And so the Wildford community were the people I went to say, who would like to be an intern client for me? Free sessions, get the whole foundation session process. And those 3 wonderful people who came forward, thank you so much, because you were wonderful as clients. You were so genuinely in it. You know, you weren't playing along to be nice as a client. You were genuinely in it, and I got so much learning from those processes, which with each of the 3 of you, each of you unique, each brought different learning through that process, and I'm so grateful to that. It's standing me in good stead still to this day. I've sold 18 copies of John Mace's book, Causism. So Causism is the theory that the Mace Energy Method is based on, was birthed from. And I have the book as an e-download available on the website, or I share it in my newsletter every week as well. I'll also pop it in the description of this video. So yes, thank you to all the 18 people who've bought a copy of that book. Truly thanks and appreciation for you dipping your toe in to see what you think of this world, because you're the one who gets to choose. 23, in fact, 24 foundation sessions booked in this first 3 months of this journey. Huge thank you to everybody. Again, that launched first with the community, and they got a special community discount for that launch period. So thank you, big thank you to everybody in there who jumped in and got involved and booked in for those first sessions as soon as you could. And everybody then from the newsletter. Oh my goodness, what a delight that so many people, it's like so many people were waiting for me to find this. Like so many people were waiting in the wings for this to open up, who could then go, yes, please, I'll have that. Thank you. It's been such a beautiful, gratifying, loving, full of love experience, fulfilling experience, to see that feedback from you as you book and book and book your sessions. Such a delight. And thank you here to YouTube, because I've also had my very first client who came from a YouTube video, who had that very direct connection from, I watched this video, it made total sense, I'm here for my foundation sessions. So that was an absolute sparkle moment for me, of the first time that's happened so clearly, so evidently, to help somebody find exactly what was right for them. I've also had 9 subsequent sessions. So the subsequent sessions are what you move on to if you want to after your foundation sessions. You can book them through the website for 30 minutes or an hour. And so far I've had lots of wonderful, 9 wonderful hour-long subsequent sessions, which are beautiful. They're slightly different from the foundation sessions because they're more free-flowing. They're more led by you, the client, in terms of what you want to discreate in that particular session. There's a little bit more talking around what's been happening, and therefore to help us identify what to work on the session. But still so effective, still using that same effective, efficient process, still not getting into story with why this is happening, still not analysing where it's come from, what its origins are. We don't need to do any of that stuff. It's so much lighter, so much easier than that. So thank you to those 9 of you who've booked those subsequent sessions, because I love them, absolutely love them. I love the foundation ones because they're so substantial. We clean so much fundamental stuff from your life. And then those subsequent sessions, which bring a little bit more fluidity and still the amazing process, and keep getting you cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. And then to support that within the community, so we have drop-in sessions within the community, which means that every Friday I have blocks of time that are held just for community members, pay as you go, so the community members don't have to pay a block amount on the off chance they might have a session. It's pay as you go, so you get what you pay for. All you do is upgrade to the drop-in session you want for that week, and you're in. And it means you're guaranteed a session. Currently, especially because the community is quite small, you're guaranteed a session on a Friday. So it's a really great way to do lots of very quick, easy cleaning up over the course of a few weeks, however long you want to stay in for. Because we, as I say, we have both 15-minute and 30-minute options in there. And so we've had 18 15-minute drop-in sessions, and that includes my thanks to all the people who were on the weekly call, who were there for when we started experimenting with those as part of that call experience. So 18 15-minute drop-in sessions and 5 of the 30-minute drop-in sessions, which are lovely, giving that little bit more spaciousness in those longer sessions. So just honestly a heartwarming gathering of those numbers. I would never normally do that. This is a classic example of what's become available for me, having cleaned all that stuff out with Mace. I would never have done that before with the numbers. I would never have taken the time to see how things were going. Mostly because I assumed that if I looked, I would see more evidence that I was wrong. So I couldn't look. It didn't look like it was a resistance. It didn't look like it was a problem. I think I'd glossed it over with, oh, that stuff doesn't matter to me. I'm more spiritual than that. I'm just in the flow of life and everything's coming and going perfectly. A bullshit story that was covering over a fear of looking wrong, and therefore not daring to look at the numbers because they might give me more evidence that I'm wrong. Now, free of that, I actually have been able to sit and enjoy gathering these numbers. I've been able to revel in the delight and remember the sessions with each of the individuals, which has also then brought another level of warmth and connection and enjoyment in reliving these wonderful opportunities made visible through the numbers, but kind of leading me back into the memory of the sessions themselves and the people themselves and the differences that have been made for people's lives in such a short space of time. Things that people have been carrying for decades and decades. You know, I've worked with people who are over 70 who've got free of stuff that's like literally been their whole life. I've worked with younger people. I've worked with more middle-aged people like myself. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter the problem. The process is the process, and the fundamental thing is you do not deserve to live with that negativity. You do not have to live with that negativity in your life. You do not have to keep experiencing this over and over again. This Mace Energy Method gets you free. when it is the modality you want, when it lines up with you as a yes, this is the thing, it is so perfect, it's so effective, it's so efficient. And so if this is for you in the new year, if this has tickled your taste buds and you fancy some of this in the new year, I really look forward to meeting you and starting collecting my numbers for 2025 so I can celebrate those at the end of next year. I've already got halfway through January's already booked. So if you're interested in this, it's a possibility for you. Really do look into it, because if you want a session in January, you're going to need to jump in quick. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here on YouTube. Thank you for being here on the newsletter. You are my most connected people in my world, apart from the community. Community gets the absolute most connected experience from me. But you guys are absolutely there as my next most connected people in my world. And I truly appreciate you for every video you watch, for every newsletter you read, for every reply you send, and of course for all these numbers and celebrations that I've shared today. So I'm wishing you the most wonderful Christmas. I hope you have a fabulous time and an enjoyable new year. And you know where I am. If any of that old reactivity comes up, if any of that negativity is dragging you down, you know exactly where I am, and I have the best way to resolve that with you. Much love, and I shall see you in 2025.